Section 14.8 is a nice break from some of the more complicated problems that we've been solving. These is variation applications. There are two types of questions, and they're very similar. One is a direct variation, where y and x, they both increase at the same time. And so this is something like how many, if you're purchasing songs for a certain price, K would be your price, X would be the number of songs. And so K times X is the cost of the music. So we've been using this direct relationship in some of the word problems way back in chapter 9, where we had distance equals rate times time and some other relationships like that. Inverse relationship is where when X gets larger, Y gets smaller. And it has this particular type of relationship. So the product of X and Y is always a constant. That's another way to look at it. So these two, you want to be able to pair the correct relationship with the wording. And then I'll show you how to solve these equations. It's a few steps, but they're all fairly short and not a lot of pieces moving around. So, number one, the volume of a gas varies inversely with pressure. And so that's saying as the pressure increases, the more pressure on the gas, then the smaller the volume. So it's compacting the gas. Then they give us a pair. So an XY pair. They say the volume is 380 with a pressure of 2 pounds. So that gives us one pair. From that, we will find K. And then it says, what is the volume if we increase the pressure to 3 pounds? So we can start with our direct and say we know that volume, let's do a different color. No, we'll do black. Okay. Volume equals, since it's inversely, it's some constant over pressure. That's the relationship that they describe. Actually, let's do highlight. Volume varies inversely with pressure. That's what we've written down. So, first step is identify which relationship we have, direct or inverse, and write down the overall equation. Second step is plug in your point. Oops. So, plug in the 380 and the 2. So this would be saying volume is 380, pressure is 2, K is what I'm solving for. So to solve this, multiply both sides by 2. And this would give me then, the 2's would cancel on the right-hand side, so K would equal 760. Now, we go back into our original equation and plug in the K. So I will have 760 for K. And then we put in the new information that they gave us. So they said, let's do a different highlight, pressure of 3 pounds. That's the new information. So that would go here, 3 pounds. And volume is what we're solving for. So it's already V equals, so I can just calculate it, 760 over 3. and we get 253. 3 repeating, and they said to round, so if we round to 1/10 to the 10th place, then this would be our volume. This is in cubic inches. That's it. Let's do one more example with the direct. Very similar, just starting from a different relationship first. So identify our relationship. The length of a spring varies directly with the weight. So as you put a heavier weight on the spring, then it pulls the spring down. So the length is this distance, and heavier weights, longer spring. So that is a direct relationship. So I can write it down. Length equals K times weight. So let's put in then our information. So we have a weight of 32 goes with a length of 15. And so 15 is my length, 32 is my weight, K is what I'm solving for. To solve for this, divide both sides by 32. And K equals 15 over 32. If that, as a decimal is 0.46875, I think I'll leave it as a fraction. So you do not want to round K off in this scenario. Leave it as an exact answer. So as a fraction, if it was 0.25, you could use the decimal 0.25, but let's keep our proportion right there. So then I go to my new information. So a weight of 44 pounds, and let's plug this in. So length is what I'm looking for. K, I have 15 over 32, and weight I have of 44 pounds. So if I multiply this, I get 20.625, and I think they said to round it, it's 20.6. This is a length, so that's inches. And that's it. But do follow the process that I explained. Don't memorize that I multiply here and divide here, because they could switch it. They might have given us the length and then we find the other. Then in that case, we'd be dividing. So focus on the process and then solving rather than the steps of multiply, divide, because those can swap around in different scenarios. Enjoy.